What is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. If you've read about self-improvement, if you're on your self-improvement journey, you may have heard about Stoicism and these ancient philosophers, the Stoics. If not, spoiler alert, their ideas can be absolutely game-changing when it comes to self-development and navigating today's world. Now, I'm kind of new to this self-improvement area, but since hearing about Stoicism, it's absolutely fascinated me. So recently, I've been reading about this topic and trying to sprinkle a little bit of this Stoic magic into my daily life. And I thought I'd make this video to give you an overview of what Stoicism is and how it's already helped a beginner like myself. If you're just kickstarting your self-improvement journey and are wondering how Stoicism may fit in, I hope you get some cool insights from this video. Ready? Let's get going. Firstly, what is Stoicism? So, Stoicism is a philosophy that originated in ancient Greece around 300 BC by a man called Zeno of Citium and flourished throughout the Roman and Greek world until around the 3rd century AD. In a nutshell, Stoics believe that personal virtue and wisdom is the path to true happiness, and they teach us to be accepting of things we can't change and rather focus on what we can control. But what is cool about this is that although it is an ancient philosophy, it's still just as relevant 2,000 years later with helping us to navigate these fast-paced, often chaotic modern lives. Now, who are the most famous Stoics? So, the godfather of the Stoics is arguably the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. If you've seen the movie Gladiator, he's the guy at the beginning who tells Russell Crowe that he should be the next emperor and is then murdered by Joaquin Phoenix. Marcus Aurelius's famous quotes include, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Powerful stuff, right? Next, we have Seneca, a statesman and playwright in ancient Rome, who said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favourable." You can see how this one is key for self-improvement, right? Basically, you need a goal to aim towards, otherwise you'll just always float through life. And lastly, we have Epictetus, I think that's how you say it, a former slave turned philosopher who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. And men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." Now, there are many other famous Stoics, but these are arguably the most famous. And just by reading these quotes, you can start to see how powerful embodying these could be. So, what are the key principles of Stoicism? The core of Stoicism rests on a few key principles: understanding what's within our control and what's not, accepting what life throws at us, and using rational judgment. So first we have the dichotomy of control. I guess you could say this is the core of Stoicism, and it is a very simple yet very powerful distinction. Some things are within our control, while others are not. Our thoughts, beliefs and actions, they're up to us, but external events and the opinions of others, those lie beyond our direct influence. The Stoics believed that by focusing on improving what's within our control and accepting what isn't, we can achieve tranquility and clarity. Marcus Aurelius's quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength," I think perfectly sums this up. Now, this is huge for self-improvement and something that I'm trying to think of as much as possible when planning out my time. As an example, this YouTube channel, I have no control over how many people click on the video, how many people subscribe to the channel, but I do have control over how much effort I can put into making the videos, how much time I put into making the thumbnails and improving my video editing skills. If I can have goals around that and work towards things I can control, I don't need to worry about the things I can't control. I wouldn't say it's removed all of my worries, but I would say that it is helping me to focus on the most important stuff and not worry about stuff I can't control. And that's very comforting. Next, we have acceptance. As well as accepting that there are things we can control and others we can't, Stoics also believe that we should accept that life is filled with challenges and we should embrace them. Instead of resisting difficulties, we should see them as opportunities to grow and learn. For me, this sort of ties into the idea of failure. We're all going to fail, and that's okay. Failure is an opportunity to grow. Again, huge for self-improvement. And lastly, we have rationality. Stoics place immense value on rationality. They believe that by relying on reason and logic over impulsive emotions, we can make better decisions and navigate life's ups and downs. Or in other words, instead of being slaves to our emotions, we should be their masters. Now, this doesn't mean suppressing our feelings, but rather understanding them, seeing how they come and go, and making sure they don't cloud our judgment. I like to think of this as staying on your mission, even if it is difficult, or even the idea of delayed gratification, and saying no to the impulsive emotion, but yes to what is logically the right thing to do in the long term. So how does an ancient philosophy find relevance in the modern age of constant change, overwhelming amounts of information, and often superficial interactions? Why is this topic talked about so much in the area of self-improvement? I think that in our fast-paced modern lives, Stoicism provides us a refuge. It gives us tools to deal with stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and reminds us to focus on our attitudes and actions rather than external events. So there we have it, a beginner's guide to Stoicism from a beginner. I hope you found that valuable and you can start to see how embodying these ideas of the Stoics can be super important for self-improvement or even just life in general. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the next one.